promised last week I was going to get into more detail about the feel, felt, found method and the 4 personality traits. Because when you're recruiting, you have to understand it's also a psychological game, not just a numbers game. Yeah, it's a numbers game, but if you want to increase your odds, increase the results you're going to get from the numbers game, this is a step you want to master. Now, before I say this step, what do I mean by a numbers game? I'm going to give you one little key here that if you follow this method, you will be successful at no matter what you do. Here it is, as far as a numbers game. You expose your opportunity to at least 2 people a day for a year. If you do so, you're going to end up with at least over 40 personally sponsored people in your business. 2 people a day for a year. So you have 365 days in a year times 2. You're ending up with 40 personal. That means you got a whole of a lot of no's, right? That's a lot of people that said no. 600-something people that said no to you. But guess what? 40 said yes. And they signed up in your business. Now, whatever opportunity that you're doing, you look at your compensation plan. How much would you be making if you're 40 wide? And what if those 40 did the same thing you did? What would you be making at the end of the year? And it doesn't matter what opportunity you do this method with, the numbers still come out the same. The more people you talk to, the more money you're going to make. That's just a statistical fact. But let me show you how to increase the odds. Personality traits. There's 4 basic personalities out there. You have a shark, you have a whale, you have a dolphin, and you have an urchin. I'm sure by now a lot of you might have guessed my personality, dominant personality, is a shark. What is a shark? Well, a shark is a person who's motivated by kind of like the limelight, the power, the money, the image. You know, sharks are power brokers. You know, the black suits, the red tie. All I care about is the numbers. Yeah, you got good products. I don't care about the products. Show me the numbers. Show me the money. That is my dominant personality trait. When somebody comes to me with an opportunity talking about how great the product is, I fall asleep. When somebody comes to me about an opportunity about how many people you can possibly help out there, I vaguely have interest. When someone talks to me about all the facts about it, I vaguely have interest. But when somebody shows me the numbers, I pay attention. That's my personality trait. But then you have whales. Now, just because you may be dominant in one doesn't mean you don't have the others, because you want to be well-rounded. At this stage, I have all 4. I'm dominant in shark, but I'm strong in all 4. But what are whales? Whales are people that are not motivated by money and power. Whales are motivated by helping other people. See, if you approach a whale talking about your opportunity, how much money they can make, they're going to fall asleep. If you approach a whale talking about, check out these awesome products that we offer, look at the benefits that it's giving people who use them. If you're in a juice, health, and wellness company, these products are saving lives. I haven't been sick in 2 years because the products work. Imagine what that can do for other people. See, now that starts to motivate those whales, because they're thinking, wow, I have an opportunity to change the world. I can help people, and then I can make money on the back end. But first and foremost, I can actually help people. So if you approach a whale as a shark's perspective, you're going to lose them. They'll have no interest. But if you approach a shark from a whale's perspective, you're going to lose them as well. Now, what about the dolphins? What are dolphins? Dolphins are my sister. Dolphins only care about, as far as mainly motivated about, how much fun can I have doing it? What can I wear nice outfits? Is there parties? Do we get to travel? Do I get to meet a lot of nice, cool people? Is everybody having fun and smiling? What, there's a national convention on a cruise? When I first got started in this industry, my sister, she was what, 18, 19 years old. She didn't understand anything about business. She didn't care. All she knew is I get to travel with my brother, get suited and booted, wear nice outfits, and there's a whole lot of cute men out there that's dressed up in suits talking about business and making money. I want to be in that environment. That's all she cared about. She only joined the business for that, to have fun. Didn't matter if she was making any money or not. Didn't care. That wasn't her motivation. So those are dolphins. So if you approach a dolphin from a shark or a whale standpoint, they fall asleep. But what about the urchins? And oh, I so hate the urchins. But the urchins are very important. And the urchins, once they do sign up with your opportunity, end up making the most money because they turn into sharks. And here's what happens from what an urchin does. They have 1,000,001 questions about the opportunity. They will not move a muscle until they've crossed every single T and dotted every single I, even if they need to know the Social Security number of the owner of the company. When was the company founded? How long has it been in business? Are they in the black? Are they in debt? Where's the company corporate headquarters? What's the ingredients of the product? What's the FDA listing for blah, 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 blah? And it starts to go blah, blah, blah in my head. Because a lot of times they're not asking questions that they need to know the answer. They ask questions just to ask questions to satisfy their own, need to ask questions. And then no matter what you say, they still will say, okay, let me do my own research, and I'll get back to you. So it didn't matter that you answered all their questions. They just wanted to know if you knew anything. But once they do their own research and they figure it out and they get convinced, they turn into sharks because they have confidence. They're confident in what they're doing now. They're confident in what they're talking about. They know that I can speak on this, and I'm confident that I have backup of what I'm saying. They're definitely afraid of not being prepared. They are prepared, and they go out and blow up. They just take forever, and they take up a whole lot of time. And my personality trait is always at odds with urchins because I'm the opposite. I'm the type of person that likes to figure it out as I go. Every opportunity I'm in, I jump in, I make a couple $1,000s before I even understand completely the compensation plan. I learn, oh, really? We have that? I already made four figures, while the urchin's still sitting over there trying to figure it out, getting started 2-3 months later. That's just my personality. But I'm also a strong urchin as well. In fact, I'm strong in all of these traits. I love to have fun. I love to go out there and wear nice outfits and be around nice people and travel, and I love doing that. I love meeting new people. I love helping people. In fact, I won't get involved in an opportunity unless everyone else is able to make some money as well to help them out as well. The product can benefit them. I'm a strong whale. I'm a strong urchin. I do my research after I'm already involved. But I'm dominant shark. That's my personality. So why am I sharing all of this with you? Well, first thing is identify what your dominant personality is. Know what you are. Then you will be able to, when you're talking to people, you'll be able to identify what personality they are. And that's so important because once you're able to pick out what their personality type is, then you'll be able to know how to approach them. See, this leads into the feel, felt, found method. Because when you're talking to people, when you're listening to them, and this is the thing, most people never listen. God gave us 2 ears and a mouth. Use it in that proportion. So when you're talking to people, let them do all the talking. The person who's doing the most talking always loses. Always. Let them do all the talking. You'll find out later that they think that you're the greatest conversationalist and you didn't even say anything. You listen because people love to talk and they love to talk about themselves. What most people do in a two-way conversation is they wait for the other person to shut up so that they can get their point of view in. Scratch that out of your brain and actually listen to what they're saying. They're going to tell you everything about themselves and what they want. And you can tell that they're well. Then you can say, you know what, in our opportunity, we're able to help so many people. We're able to help change lives. That's going to pique their interest. Their guard goes down. When they're talking about, oh, yeah, I want to be a millionaire before I'm 40. Yeah, and our opportunity, our compensation plan is so great that you can be making six figures a month before the year is out. When you're talking to somebody that's an urchin, you say, you know what, this company made $500 million in just a few years off the real estate division alone. This company has a great foundation, international, multiple industries under one roof, or whatever company you're in. You start giving the facts, undeniable proof. That starts getting the urchin's attention. But here's the feel, felt, found method, and I don't think I need to make a slide for that for next time. The feel, felt, found method is just this. Every single politician in the world has mastered this. Priests, bishops have mastered this. All people of influence have mastered this. I learned it over 10 years ago from a gentleman named Steve Carter, who is the number one money earner in a company called 5 Links. He's the first time I heard this method from, but I've heard it from many people since then. But he was the first, and it really stuck to me. See, when you're having a conversation with people and you're just asking them, you ask them questions. So what's going on in your life? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What are you doing? They'll tell you. They'll tell you all their problems and troubles. It's amazing. And they may say, I'm scared about the future, Brandon. I'm working a job right now. The company's laid off 3 divisions already, and we got notice that we may be next. And they're trying to have early retirement. I'm only 45 years old. I can't take early retirement. I have kids about to go to school and college. I went to school for this type of industry. I don't have the money or the time to go back to school to get into another industry, and I'm afraid to get back out there and doing the job force again. My future's uncertain, and it keeps me up late at night, and it's bothering my health. So when you hear that, instead of saying, wow, you really need to get into my business, because if you get into my business, we can solve those problems, the answer's going to be no. But if you say this, I understand exactly what you're going through. What does Bill Clinton always say? I feel your pain. He's able to connect to people. That's why he was so successful. I feel your pain. I understand. I'm listening to you. I'm taking in what you're saying to me and processing it. Not only that, then you say, I felt the same way too at one point. So now here's where the connection is made. You have a shared experience. I tell people, I was at that same point at one time as well. I went to school, spent a whole lot of money on school, and I was in corporate America, and no fault of my own, I got laid off. And I was scared. I didn't know, for that, what's going to happen to your future. Your future is uncertain. So not only do I understand what you're saying, but I went through the same thing. Now, let's say you didn't go through that experience. I guarantee you know somebody whose story is similar. So when you say, I understand, I feel your pain because I have a friend or I have a buddy or I know somebody in my company who went through the same thing you did. The connection's there. Then here comes the solution. Instead of saying, I have a solution for you, you say, here was the solution for me. Or here is what the solution was for my friend who was in the same position as you. We found out that we got part of this one opportunity. And very quickly, we were able to match the income we were making on our job. So we didn't lose a beat in income. In fact, after a couple of years, this gentleman is making more money than he ever made on his job working from home. He's able to pay for his kids to go to school. He's able to fund his own retirement. He's not worried about getting laid off. And he found his way out. Now, psychologically, the other person that you're talking to, see, people like to buy. They don't like to be sold. So they're listening to this and say, wait, if their situation was the same as mine, and they found a solution, that means that solution may work for me. So you know what comes out of their mouth next? Well, what is it that they're doing? Or what is it that you do? Tell me a little bit about it. See, the guard is down. I said, well, I'd be happy to tell you about it. In fact, I'd be happy to introduce you to that person who has a similar background as you. This is why it's also important to know who your team members are. That's why our team calls are so important, so that you can hear other people's story. Because I guarantee you, you're going to run into something similar out there, and that you can share. It's very, very important. This is what separates individuals who can sponsor 15 to 20 to 100 people than other people who can only sponsor 2 or 3. This is what separates the Richard Trotters, the Sheila McNeils, from everybody else. Feel, felt, found. People like to buy. They don't like to be sold. Know their personality traits.